function is defined as shown over all real numbers, but x is not equal to 2 because we would be divided by 0. And we're asked to find the inverse of 7. It's only a couple of marks. It's quite an awkward inverse to find if you were to find the full inverse. And we don't need to because you've got to remember what the inverse is doing. The inverse, so the normal function is mapping x on to y. The inverse is going the other way. It's mapping y back onto x. So we can just put our function in as 7. Another way of this, what this question is actually asking is solve f of x equals 7. Okay, because it's the opposite. Rather than putting x in, we've got y as 7 and we're trying to find x. So don't go finding the whole inverse and then putting in 7. I will do that in a minute just to show you, but we can just do 7 equals 3x minus 7 over x minus 2. It's much easier to deal with than finding the inverse because it's just an equation. We can multiply through by x minus 2. 7x minus 14 equals 3x minus 7. So 4x equals 7. X equals 7 over 4. If you do it the long way, you would let y equal 3x minus 7 over x minus 2. We'll have to make x the subject. So we get yx. I mean, you need to be able to do this anyway, but I would avoid it in this kind of scenario for 2 marks. Make x the subject, so I'm going to add 2y onto both sides, minus 3x. So yx minus 3x is 2y minus 7. Factorize out the x. Okay, this is important to practice if you are a bit confused or you wouldn't have been able to do it because it comes up quite a bit. So therefore, x is 2y minus 7 over y minus 3. And finally, that is how we get x from y. If we're writing it as the inverse function, we just swap them back round. So the inverse is then 2x minus 7 over x minus 3. And sorry, I really should have started up here. Right, now we can do it. Loads more effort, but this bit is at least much more simple. So I get 14 minus 7 over 7 minus 3. We get our 7 over 4 that way. Now we're going to do a composite function with itself and show that it's ax plus b over x minus 3, finding a and b. So f of x is going to equal f of 3x minus 7 over x minus 2. That means everywhere in the function we have x, we're actually going to replace it by 3x minus 7 over x minus 2. Just like if you were substituting a 5 in, for example, you'd replace the x's by 5. Here I'm replacing the x's by 3x minus 7 over x minus 2. So I've got this. Don't need to put a bracket around that one. All right, and I want to simplify, it will simplify. What we can do, and I would do this first, is multiply top and bottom by x minus 2. Because then we're just going to get 3 times 3x minus 7. Because when I times by x minus 2, it just cancels. Minus 7 times x minus 2. Over, and similarly here we get 3x minus 7. The x minus 2 bit cancels. Minus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, we're well on our way now. Expand and simplify. 9x minus 21 minus 7x plus 14, and the double negative there, over 3x minus 7 minus 2x plus 4, another double negative, which gives 2x minus 7 over x minus 3. And that bit's pretty good. The fact that we've got that, we can be pretty confident. We found out what a and b are. We don't actually need to state them, but I'll write it down. A is going to equal 2 and b is going to equal minus 7.